Hello, RoahmMythril here once again, and your regularly scheduled episode of Pokemon Crystal No Evolutions has been rescheduled. After all, it's spooky month. Have to take advantage of it while it's here. So, it's time for a Halloween project. So back when I was doing the one-off videos, I actually did one for this game because I really enjoyed it as a kid, and I wanted to show off at least a little bit of it. I didn't really think it was something that anybody would be interested in seeing a full LP of. However, much to my pleasant surprise, a lot of people seem to be getting invested in it. And so, we're gonna do a full Let's Play of this one. Welcome to the 7th guest. So, fun little fact about this game, it was released in the early to mid 90s, and it was kind of a killer app. This, along with Myst, I think those were the big two. They made CD-ROM drives a lot more commonplace in PC builds of the day. Before that, you mostly just had floppy disk drives and the whole 2 megabytes those gave you. So, at the time, it was an advancement, and they had these games to thank for it. But now, it's story time.
He was a drifter, moving from town to town, robbing a gas station here, a grocery store there, until one night. She was coming home from choir practice, but she never got there. Stauf took her purse and ran away. Instead, Stauf had to run and hide. He sunk even lower. He had nothing. No life, no possessions, no dreams. And that's when the vision came. A doll. And in his dream, Stauf reached out. It was a gift. Stauf carved the doll, whittling the haunting face until it was an exact replica. And when he was done, Stauf went to town, to a bar. The owner had a daughter. He said his girl would love the strange doll. And Stauf offered it to the man. And the owner, in turn, offered Stauf food and a place to stay. A simple transaction. The first of many. And that night, Stauf had another vision. Stauf created the puzzle just as he saw it, and everyone wanted one. Stauf opened up a shop because everyone wanted a Stauf toy. Every boy and girl in the town, and from all the neighboring towns. A Stauf toy is a toy for life, people said, and no two are alike. Everyone loved his unique toys. Henry Stauf grew wealthy, but then the strange virus came, and some of the children started dying. dying, clutching their Stauf toys so close. And there was this one last vision, a last dream of a great house, a mansion that the wealthy toymaker was to build. A strange house, a house that scared people.
So we're done with the storybook, but there is still a bit of exposition to go.
My, isn't this a cheery place?
Edward, I'm not sure we should have been here today.
Why? Because it's a spooky old house? Don't worry, dear. I'll watch out for you.
What? Don't. I expected more of Mr. Stauf.
And Lord, it smells awful too. What's Stauf been doing here?
How did I get here? I remember nothing.
And so with that, we're into the game proper, with no real idea of how or why we're here. The only thing the manual tells us, because yes, this game did come with a manual, is that for all intents and purposes, our name is just Ego. It also gave the names of each of the guests, so I did go ahead and put those there for reference's sake. It just makes it easier to talk about them when they show up. So, since I'm doing a full LP, I can actually go into further detail with certain things. For example, a bit of trivia. The original vision for this game, they weren't supposed to be ghosts. You were supposed to be able to meet and interact with the guests in the flesh. However, this was a case of adjusting to circumstances. Trilobite was a small company at the time. This was their first major game. As such, they couldn't quite afford the best chroma key technology that they really needed at the time. When they got the footage of the actors and put them into these virtual scenes, it left them with a strange ghostly aura. So rather than scrap what they had, they worked with it, changed the story, and now it's a ghost story. So, interesting way of adapting to circumstances, very clever. So with that, it's time to start checking out the mansion. Moving around the mansion is done basically with a point-and-click system. And we can't go in here yet. We have to do more things in the mansion to open up other areas. However, we did start the game by coming through this door, so let's check it out. Welcome to the library. So, a reason I wanted to start here is because there is a core mechanic of the game in this room to discuss, and it's this book here. We can't do anything with it right now because we don't have an active puzzle. This is a hint book. If you've started a puzzle, come back to the hint book and you can read it to get an idea of what you're doing. The first time you check the book, it'll generally tell you what the overall goal of the current puzzle is, what you need to actually do. The second time you check it out, you get a more direct clue, sometimes additional rules of the puzzle, sometimes a clue toward the actual solution. There is actually a case where it just flat out trolls you and gives you the solution, but doesn't tell you that's what it did. If you're still stumped and need to check the book a third time, it just flat out solves the puzzle for you and you can go on about your business. Now the manual did warn that using the hint book too much, it could have a negative effect on the game. It doesn't really. There isn't anything like alternate endings where if you use the hint book too much you're locked into a bad ending or anything like that. The only thing is, sometimes when you solve a puzzle, there is a cutscene that plays afterwards. If you have the book solve the puzzle for you, you miss out on those scenes. That's really all it is. Well, that's a problem. So yeah, sometimes you'll just find events you can look at, just strange things going on with this eldritch location. And speaking of it being a very strange location, in the opening we saw that the Stauf mansion is perched on this just isolated precipice, so why are we seeing trees outside the window? Just asking. Anyway, time for the first puzzle. Right inside this telescope.
You'll need more than lenses to focus your thoughts on this one.
So, welcome to the canals of Mars. The overall game loop here is every room in the Stauf mansion has a puzzle that you need to find and then solve. However, you're not given much in the way of instruction. That's for you to figure out. Or use the hint book. So, we have a bunch of letters with a bunch of lines. The obvious thing is we have to spell something. However, we can't interact with anything except this bottom T.
Now this doesn't make sense. Or does it?
Once you activate that, the T goes away, we can't use it again. And then, the only choices we have are the letters that were connected to it. So, we have our goal. We need to spell something out, all the letters have to be connected, and so we have to make this one grand journey a continuous line that uses up every letter.
A perplexing planetary poser. How puzzling. Perhaps a phonemic path can be phrased with a little postulation.
Extra points for alliteration. Nicely done, Ego. So, certain sets of letters just make sense to use together. It's up to you to figure out what those are.
Having fun yet, mortal?
In fact, I am, Stauf. I'm very happy to have an excuse to play this game again. So yeah, to everyone out there who really wanted me to do a full LP of this one, thank you. So by now you probably see the full solution.
This is trickier than it looks.
Remember how I mentioned there was an instance where the hint book just completely trolls you on the second clue? Yeah, this is the one. The second clue the book gives you is to flat out say, there is no possible way. Which is actually the answer, but it doesn't tell you that. Nice troll.
What twisted crime of logic would merit such a sentence?
And so with that, one puzzle down. And now, a poem, if you will.
Old man Stauf built a house and filled it with his toys. 6 guests were invited one night. Their screams the only noise. blood inside the library, blood right up the hall, dripping down the attic stairs. Hey, guests, try not to fall. Nobody came out that night. Not one was ever seen. But old man Stauf is waiting there. Crazy, sick, and mean!
You ever get the feeling an actor just really enjoys their role? They actually got a classically trained actor, Robert Hirschbeck, to play Henry Stauf, and you can just tell he is having so much fun with this role, just giving it his all. So there is a bit of an oddity here in the library, and that's over here. It's a door. It's not a door. Yeah, there's nothing we can actually do with this. It's just there. There is, however, an actual secret passage we can use here by crawling into the fireplace, and it leads up to the second floor, but I don't really want to go there just yet. I want to take care of everything we can on the first floor first. Just makes sense. So, back to the front door.
My dear Mr. Dutton, welcome to my house. The arrangement is simple. You are to spend the night as my guest, and in exchange, I will give you your heart's most secret desire. And you know what that is, Mr. Dutton, don't you? I require one thing of you, a special service, a task that I've set up for you. There's a guest who hasn't arrived yet. A guest unlike the six of you. A very special guest. Your services involve that guest. You must wonder what that service is. But that is the game, Mr. Dutton. The puzzle I've set for you. This is all I can tell you, Mr. Dutton. In the morning, only one of my guests will walk out of this house with his or her every wish granted.
So with that, we get an idea of exactly what went down this night. Stauf invited 6 different guests, each with a hidden desire. There's something he wants them to do for him, and whoever figures it out first, they get their wish granted. What could possibly go wrong? The puzzle in the foyer still is not activated, so let's go check out this side of the stairway.